On my first day of training at easyJet, I was in a swimming pool wearing a life jacket with people I've met for less than a day. And that wasn't even the most overwhelming part. If you're starting cabin crew training in 2026, I'll go into detail in this video about what it's like and how my experience was like whilst I was doing training at easyJet. And make sure you watch this video to the end, because there's one mistake that people make during training that can seriously affect how you perform. And I'll talk about that later. It's not what you think. So it's officially been a year since I started my training, and now my recurrent training is coming up. And it feels weird because I feel completely different compared to when I first started. So the duration of the training with easyJet is usually around 4 weeks, give or take. And 4 weeks doesn't sound that long, right? But those 4 weeks are packed, like not in a scary way or dramatic way. It was actually pretty fun, but it's intense in terms of information that they give you during training. Like, it's a kind of experience where you laugh during the day, but when you get home, your brain just like crashes. If you're starting a training with easyJet, you'll be either training at one of these two places. If the base that you apply to is in the UK, you'll most likely be training at London Gatwick Airport. But if you're based within the EU, you'll most likely take a training in Milan Malpensa in Italy. But take that with a pinch of salt. I mean, I had people in my training group who was based in Portugal, but were training at London Gatwick, so I don't know where you're going to train. It's what they come up with. And depending on your group, you'll either be AM or PM training. If you're in the AM training group, you'll probably start at like maybe 4 to 6 AM, which sounds so early. I'm so glad I wasn't in that training group. But if you're in the PM training group, you usually start around 9 AM to 1 PM, depending on the day. So even before you start the training, the procedures, everything that's covered in training, your body clock is already adjusting. And that plays a bigger role than people even realize. Because being tired and trying to absorb a lot of information during training is not really the best combo. Now, before starting our training, we were told beforehand in our emails that we would be doing the wet drill, but knowing it and actually doing it are two completely different things. You walk into training not really knowing what to expect. Like, everyone is just smart, like introducing themselves and trying to make a good impression. So before we even go to the place to do the wet drill, we get briefed beforehand on what we're supposed to be doing during the wet drill. So they tell us that we're going to be, swimming in the pool, inflating the life jacket whilst we're inside the pool, and then swimming from one end of the pool to the other, as well as climbing onto a life raft. And bear in mind, this is 2 hours into our training. Like, there's no build up, there's no gradual warm up into training. It's just like, it just hits you. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. So the wet drill is pretty much a training exercise, but it's also a test. So that basically means you have to show that you're able to swim confidently, put on the life jacket and inflate it whilst you're in the water, and demonstrating that you know how to swim with the life jacket on. And by the way, I'm pretty sure they tell you this or they recommend you this during training, but it's very hard to swim forward with a life jacket on. So when you're wearing the life jacket, you want to be swimming backwards. And I'm pretty sure I have a picture somewhere on my phone where we completed the wet drill. It should be like here somewhere. But like, look how cute I was, man. I was so clueless on what was going on. And bear in mind, you see there's lots of people in this photo, right? Literally, I didn't know any of them at all. We were complete strangers. Like, it's slightly awkward at first, but that training exercise breaks the ice instantly. Like, realistically, there's no time to be shy when you're doing this kind of exercise. Like, what are you supposed to do? But by the end of it, everyone's relaxed, everyone's laughing, encouraging each other. And then when we got back to the training center, it's just the boring stuff, like setting up all of our accounts, how we can, book our holidays, stuff like that. Just the boring stuff. They tell you that training anyway, so you figure it out. It's pretty self-explanatory once you actually do it. Now, this is where things aren't what you think it is. Well, unless you've done the research beforehand. If you think easyJet training is just all about serving food and drink, selling duty-free, or even general customer service techniques, that's not what easyJet trains you for. You don't learn any of that during training at all. The only time that you'll be able to learn how to serve the food and drink and sell the duty free and improving on your customer service skills is after you graduate training. So once you graduate training and do your first couple of flights, that's where you'll learn how to use the system that they have on the plane to be able to sell what products they have on board. So you might be wondering, what do we actually learn during those 4 weeks? And let me tell you, it's it's a lot. So this is most of the stuff that we cover during training. So one topic is emergency evacuation procedures. It's not just standing there being told what to do during an evacuation. You're learning specific commands word by word, and you have to memorize them exactly how it's taught. Because in a real world situation, there'll be no room for guesswork at all. You'll learn how to operate the aircraft doors, how to arm them and disarm them, and also what to check before even opening anything. So I trained at London Gatwick Airport, and inside the training center, there is a simulator where you can train different scenarios that would happen on board. So in that simulator, you practice scenarios where you have to react quickly. Like maybe there's smoke on board, maybe an exit is blocked, or some passengers aren't even listening. And during training, you're taught how to control the situation confidently and clearly as well. And you get to practice over and over and over again until you're confident with it. So another topic that you'll be covering during your training is firefighting training. You learn about what different types of fires there are, because not all fires are the same, and which extinguisher you should use for each fire. And on your exam for firefighting training, you actually get to put out a real fire, which was actually pretty cool. But during your training and leading up to that exam, you go through simulated smoke situations, you learn how to protect yourself while putting out a fire, learn how to communicate with the crew whilst you're putting out the fire, and how to communicate with the rest of the passengers as well. Another topic is basic survival training, and this goes beyond what people expect, to be honest. So it's just all about basic survival skills after an evacuation. You'll learn what essential equipment needs to be taken off the aircraft after a crash, but not everything though, only the essential equipment. Because in a real world situation, you need to know where each thing is located on the aircraft and what you need to take off. Because you don't know how much time you have in that situation, you have to think practically and quickly as well. You're taught as well how to ration food, how to distribute it properly between everyone, and you also learn ground to air signals as well. Another topic that you'll be covering is first aid, which is arguably one of the hardest topics that you learn. You learn things like learning how to do CPR properly. You'll learn how to recognize signs of a stroke, learn how to deal with somebody who has a contagious disease on board, and how to treat minor injuries or even major injuries. But on top of that, we learn how to respond to the situation calmly but also effectively as well. Like there's a lot of content in the first aid topic. If I went through everything that's got to do with first aid, this video will probably be 5 hours. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And the thing is though, with the first aid training, you don't learn it just on a surface level, you learn everything that's got to do with first aid, and you're expected to really understand it as well, because when you're in the air, there's only 4 of you managing the cabin, and you're pretty much responsible for everybody's lives in the cabin once you're in the air. Like you can't really exactly call a medical team in the sky. Maybe there'll be somebody who's a qualified doctor on board, but this is why we're trained on the things that we're trained on. Now imagine all that content, by the way, in 4 weeks. 4 weeks. How did I do that on my days? 4 weeks of consistent information, practical lessons, scenario-based assessments, and you're not just learning it either, you're being tested on it regularly. Like you could be learning something one day and then have the exam on the same day, so you can't really just like half remember them. You actually have to know what you're learning and what information you're taking in. And this is where the information overload comes in. It's like, it's not impossible, it's not scary, it's just a lot. Like your brain is constantly consuming new procedures, new steps, new terminology, and then some days you'll be thinking once you leave the academy, like, whoa, what did I just learn? And that's why managing your energy and revision is so important, because the volume of information that you're taking in builds up really quick if you're not careful. And with the exams as well, you usually have exams like every week, but the passing grade isn't low by any means. The average grade to pass is around 80 to 90%. So you can't just aim to pass, you have to aim high. Now remember at the beginning of the video where I said there's one mistake that people make all the time? You might want to pay attention to this. The mistake is not giving yourself enough mental space. When you get a day off training, it's tempting to do one of these two things. Either stress about training all day or ignore everything and panic the night before the exam. Here's what I recommend instead. On your first day, just switch your mind off completely. Like don't revise, don't think about cabin crew or aviation in general. You have to let your brain reset, and you can do some other stuff as well, like maybe go to the city on your day off or do the hobbies that you like doing, just to take your mind off aviation for like a day. Because if you don't, like I said earlier, the information overload slowly builds up inside. And then on your other days off, you can revise, go over your notes, and prepare for your upcoming exam. But you're just gonna give your brain that one day of rest. And that balance makes a huge difference. Now, if you don't pass your test the first time, it's not the end of the world. You can always retake it. But you don't want to walk into the exam with the mindset of, if I fail, I'll just retake it again. Just because retaking it is an option doesn't mean it should be your safety net. Instead, you should shift your mindset to, let's say, I'm gonna pass this first try. I don't need a second chance. Go into the exam with the intention of passing it first try and make that retake your last resort. Because if you aim to pass your test first try, it changes your mindset, changes how you prepare for the exam, and it also changes your discipline as well. And with the passing grade sitting at 80-90%, that mindset really matters. Now that my recurrent training is coming up in less than a month, I look back at those 4 weeks very differently. Like at the time, it always felt busy, fast, like there should be something that I should be revising for. But now looking back, I can see how much I grew during that period. Not just in knowledge, but also discipline as well. And also in how I handle pressure and how I organize myself and how to balance rest and revision without burning out. And those 4 weeks didn't teach me about just procedures. It also shaped my mindset on how I approach things as well. And that's something you don't fully realize until you're on the other side of it. Now, if you're starting cabin crew training in 2026, these are the things I want you to take away from this video. Enjoy it, rest properly, and don't underestimate how capable you are, because 1 year from now you'll be looking back at yourself from day one and realize you handled it better than you actually thought. Now, if you made it to the end of this video, I genuinely appreciate you for watching. If you enjoyed following my journey from cabin crew training to everything else I've been sharing, make sure you click this video here where I talk about what we actually do in the music industry. I'll go a lot deeper into the experience, so if you haven't watched it yet, I definitely recommend watching it. And if you still have any questions that I didn't actually cover in the video, make sure to comment those questions below and I'll try my best to answer them. Anyways, like, subscribe, turn post notifications on, and thank you for watching. See ya.